Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Halos in the Infield pregame show with James. Finally, I'm back. Work has been crazy. I'm here Friday and Saturday just for you. It looks like that's going to be enough. There's a lot of news, a lot of transactions going on. We'll get to it all. It's going to be probably an extended show unless I go through it very fast. But a pleasant Friday afternoon to you wherever you may be, stuck in traffic, home now, whatever you may be. Again, welcome to the show as the Rays take on the Angels, the first of the three-game series, but in 2 days. I'll explain why coming up. This game, of course, tonight, starting at 6:38. And if you're looking for tickets, go to 714 Tickets. If you're looking for Angel tickets, Dodger tickets, Padre tickets, theater tickets, no further than 714 Tickets for some great deals. Price you see is the price you're going to pay. No hidden fees or surprises at checkout. So that's going to be good. Also, check out for preseason football. Of course, the Raiders are coming to LA on Saturday. We'll see how that goes. So that'll be fun. I'm not going to go, of course. I got to work. But use 10% off with the code HITI. Put that in the checkout code, and then you'll get 10% off of your purchases and then 5% off going forward on your future purchases. But keep putting in that code for anything. All the concerts you can think of, Peso Pluma, Gwen Stefani. I know that the Taylor Swift performances were definitely a hit. 6 nights she did in Inglewood. So, yeah, that was definitely something. And I hope you use the code 7 or HITI for anything like that. The number, of course, 714-842-5387. Also, check out Noble Ale Works. Now, of course, I have that upside down. It's been a while. Noble Ale Works, yes. 1621 Sinclair Street, Suite B, Anaheim, California, 92806. Mention Halos in the Infield for drink specials and free parking there during Angel games. And by the way, they have a special there. You go before a game, and they'll give you a card at the top there where the bartenders are, and they'll give you this coupon where it's a buy one get one free pint after the 7th inning of games, home games. So I lost that paper somewhere, but or that note. Make sure you get one of those cards and bring that back later on and have some drinks before and after the game. Check out all the food trucks that will come on during the week, on the weekend at Noble Ale Works' Instagram page. So check that out as well. So much going on. Make sure you park there. It's a short walk. You'll need the walk. I mean, I need the walk. So check that out for Noble Ale Works, definitely. Also, watch the Todd Fox post-game show after almost every Angel game. Tomorrow will be a little different, but check that out. Also, check out the HITI flagship podcast. They just did one. It came out this morning. It was reviewing the Texas series, I believe both of them, where the Angels, of course, only took one out of the two pairs, or a pair of 3-game series where they only took one game of each in Texas. So Houston and, of course, the Rangers. Also, check us out. And you can check out the podcast, by the way, on Podbean, Spotify, Google, wherever you find your podcasts, Apple, but also on YouTube, where you'll see the faces and you'll see the places behind them for the HITI flagship podcast. So very good stuff there. Also, check out Halos in the Infield, of course. You found us on YouTube here, Instagram, Facebook, and, of course, X, which is now Twitter. I don't know. Anyway, so the Rays come in at 73-50, second place in the AL East. The Angels in fourth place in the AL West, 60-62. Let's see. The last series, so the Angels lost 2-3, of course, in Texas. The Tampa Bay Rays won 2-3 in San Francisco. And then they also had yesterday off, which was Thursday. The Angels in the standings, 12 and a half out of first place and fourth place, and 7 out in the wild card. So there's a lot of ground to make up with time running out, you would think. For the Rays, they have the first wild card spot. They are 2.5 out of first place, Baltimore. So they're keeping it close despite all the news going on with the Rays, and that's what I wanted to get to. Hopefully you caught and saw my social media. I put that on at my Instagram page and Facebook page where I think I put you and I may have had bad weeks, but the Tampa Bay Rays have had the worst. The reason I bring that up, they lost another starter. That's the third starter of the season to a season-ending injury. Oh, Shane McClanahan. Wander Franco, that investigation is going on with the underage girl. We'll see what comes out of that. It's just ridiculous what is going on. And then just now, Jose Siri is out with a finger sprain. He's one of their outfielders and one of their key players, I should say. Also, Manuel Margot is also out for 3 to 4 weeks with his injury. He's one of their outfielders as well. Not a lot of positive news for the Rays, but they're still in everything, and they're going to make the playoffs. It's not going to be it's Tommy John surgery, by the way, for Shane McClanahan. But despite all this, the Rays are still going. They're still doing so well. It's just crazy to think how they are still going. They had a great start, of course, that helped them, a record start, and then they kind of tailed off ever since. But they've been up and down pretty much all year. I wish the Angels had that, to be honest with you. But anyway, let's get some news and transactions. If you haven't seen the Hills in the Infield, the question of the day, which Fernando I know brings out, he asked, is Lucas Giolito someone the Angels should extend given the prospect capital they gave up for him? I would say no, but I wonder what everybody else thinks out there. I just think he's too much of a fly ball pitcher, in my opinion, to keep him around unless he goes for cheap. But giving up that much just for a rental and not keeping him around, it kind of reminds me of the Zach Greinke move. But might be a little worse here given what the Angels gave up. So that was a great question of the day. Some news that came out, of course, the Angels called up Nolan Schanuel, their first baseman in the minors. He was taken 11th overall in the first round of this year's draft, less than 6 weeks ago. And he was in Double-A, and he was just hitting so well, hitting .370 from Florida Atlantic, of course, University. He's only 21 years of age, and he's in the lineup today, leading off. He's only played 21 minor league games, but he has opposite field hitting. He keeps the bat high, which is something you don't really see, but you'll see that tonight. So it's kind of fun seeing all these young guys come up and playing. And, I want to see those other guys who the Angels traded away, though, come up and play eventually this year. But yeah, Nolan Schanuel has made it to the majors in less than 6 weeks of minor league ball. I mean, he went right up the ranks right away, skipping AAA. That's just amazing to me. People say, okay, that's a sign of desperation, but it's also a sign of, hey, we can't let him just sit there. We have to see if he could perform right away coming out of college. Now, I could say, hey, if he was coming out of high school like that, okay, and he's a little younger, don't bring him up. But as we saw with Zach Neto, sometimes that can be changed. So that's really interesting to see. Some other news coming up. Of course, the contract of Nolan Schanuel being brought up. Logan Ohtani returned from his rehab and reinstated from the IL. The Angels also placed C.J. Cron on a lower back inflammation. That sounds familiar. Zach Neto on the 10-day IL, retroactive to August 16th. The Angels also designated Chad Wallach for assignment. And then, as a lot of people like to say on this network, number 6, Anthony Rendon was transferred to the 60-day IL in a shocking move. I just knew he wasn't going to play back this year. We really wanted him to play, to come back, and to be a vital part of this team, but it's just not going to happen this year. And it hasn't happened all these years so far, these 4 years. He's played, a total of 145 games, I want to say, these first 4 years. And it's just been really, really unfortunate, his injury. But he's doubled down on the stupidity with his words with the media. So that, again, undefensible. And then I think the big news of the day, other from Shenwell being called up, is the eventual tropical storm coming up from Mexico, and those plans to get these games in. So due to the forecasts related to Hurricane Hillary, Sunday's game against the Rays has been rescheduled to Saturday afternoon at 1:07 tomorrow. And then all tickets for that Sunday's game will be honored for Game 1 tomorrow. So you get a doubleheader tomorrow, which is rare. And it's just odd because the Rays are here and they're used to these things. The Dodgers are doing the same thing tomorrow, and they're playing Miami. So it's funny how that goes. And then Arizona and San Diego are also doing the same thing tomorrow. Arizona and San Diego, they're playing a 4-game series. So I believe San Diego won yesterday. But they're going to do the same thing. So all three are in town. Plus, you got the Raiders-Rams game as well. They have to squeeze in and get the hell out of Dodge. So that's the way it's gone. So, again, the doubleheader tomorrow, no game Sunday, Game 1 at 1:07 tomorrow. And then at 6:07, I would think, 6:07 Saturday, unless that's, that'll be 6:07 on Saturday. So the doubleheader going, my guess is that, I don't know, the wind gusts, those issues, I don't know if there'll be fireworks on Saturday night. I'll be honest with you, if you're worried about fireworks out there. All right, any other news coming up, transactions? So July 4th, again, Rendon fouled the ball off his leg. He was diagnosed with the bruise and had the blood clot issues. Since then, though, the Angels have gone 14-20, losing 5 games in the playoff race. He's made $7.3 million in that time frame and counting. And that, shout out to ex-legend at VinRBI on Twitter for that information. And also showed the injury as well. So again, Tony 60-day, as Fernando likes to say, just unfortunate, I guess, his day out. So again, the tropical storm coming in, which will probably, it won't be a hurricane when it gets landfall to where I am in San Diego and Oceanside. It'll just turn into a very low tropical storm, and then even lower. But and this is, I'm not the Weather Channel. I'm just reading off what they say. 35, 45 miles per hour wind, gusts up to 60 miles per hour. Rain starting late Saturday into Sunday, at least down here. Once it gets up to Anaheim, that'll be late. Late Sunday morning. So, get your sandbags, put them in front of your doors, windows, lower windows, I guess. I don't know how houses are made today, but just the potential for those wind gusts. Just stay away from windows and doors. We'll see what happens. We'll ride through this, and then we'll see about Monday too, because the Reds come in for a 3-game series, and the first game of that, of course, is at 6:38. The rain will go until 10 a.m. here, at least in San Diego County. So you imagine probably by 1 o'clock in Anaheim. So luckily it's a 6:30 start. It's not 1 o'clock, of course, or 4. So hopefully the Reds series will not be affected. But I was also reading something about haven't had a hurricane in a while, or haven't had an alert like this. Did have a tropical storm back in the 30s in Long Beach and San Pedro, killed 45 people. But again, I think it'll be a lesser of a storm coming in this time. It's just hitting the right spots, I guess. That's the problem that it could be, but it's not as fierce because of the cold weather in the ocean. We have hotter weather or hotter temperature water down in Mexico, closer to the equator. So the further you go, the colder the water, the further you go north. So that's helping out the storm not being as intense. Okay, enough weather. Enough. I don't know anything. I'm just reading what I read or heard. Again, the finales of those 3-game series, Well, the Padres series is a 4-game series. The doubleheaders with San Diego, the Angels, and Miami Dodger games are all moved from Sunday to Saturday. That's the news there. Again, Sean Will being called up. That's big news there. All right, so let's get to today's starting pitchers, shall we? This game, of course, again on Bally Sports West and Bally Sports Sun back in Florida, and then also on MLB Network for those of you out of market. Coming up at 6:30, and the Angels, of course, will throw out Tyler Anderson. He's 5-4, a left-hander, 5.28 ERA, 92 strikeouts, 33 years of age, out of Oregon, drafted first 20th overall from the Rockies in 2011. It's got a 90 miles per hour fastball. That's gone up a little bit. It's 1 or 2 miles per hour faster. 80 miles per hour on the changeup, and then 85 on the cutter. But he's also thrown some other pitches this year. He's added his sinker, and then he rarely uses his slider, curveball, and then sweeper. He's just used for fun for 4 pitches. That's all. Let's see what else. His story today, or his records. This will be his 22nd game. 5-4 record, like I mentioned. 109 innings pitched, 92 strikeouts. His WHIP at 1.52. That's very high, just to say the least. Let's see his other stats here. Given up 119 hits, 66 runs, 64 were earned, 12 home runs, 47 walks, 92 strikeouts, like I mentioned. Got to cut the walks. Against this lineup especially, I know he's going to try to be careful. And even without Franco, the Rays have a potent lineup, and it starts at the top, and it just goes all the way through the lineup. It really does. This lineup is nothing to joke with, nothing to mess with, and you can't beat around the bush with them, honestly. By the way, this is the first series with the Rays this year. They will go to St. Petersburg. The Angels will in September, so check that out. His last start for Tyler Anderson, of course, was the 12th. That was Saturday, that Fox game. And in Houston, he got the loss. 4 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 7 runs, given up 1 home run, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. So it's always a mixed bag of statistics, the stats with on the line, I should say, pitching line with Tyler Anderson, that's for sure. The Tampa Bay Rays will throw out Mauricio Ramirez. He's 33 years of age as well. The right-hander, 6 feet, 220. More about him. He's 2-3 this year with a 5.72 ERA, 21 strikeouts. He was born in Nicaragua. He made his debut back in 2012. So he's been around. Mauricio Ramirez, Seattle, Tampa Bay, back with Seattle, Boston, the Mets, Detroit, Washington, and this year he's traded from Washington to Tampa Bay. This will be his fifth start with or sixth game with the Tampa Bay Rays this season. 23 games with the Washington Nationals. So was that little deal made at the deadline for Ramirez. For Ramirez, looking at his pitches, 89 on the cutter. That's his strikeout pitch, definitely. 92 miles per hour on the fastball, 80 on the curve, and 84 on the changeup. Looking at his arsenal, let's see what else comes up. Yeah. That changeup, they full left-handed hitters. You can check that out. It tells outside in the right-hander's batter's box. That's amazing. The curveball is down and away to right-handed batters. Sinker goes right middle in. Maybe you can hit that if you're Angel batters. The cutter is one of those deadly pitches. Cuts very well. Let's just say that. Let's see. Yeah, the home runs he's given up 4 all year. The cutter, just 2 of them. He's struck out, 8? No. 8 and 8, and then 21. He struck out 21 this year. 8 on the cutter and 8 on the curveball. So that's something to look at. Hopefully catch up to it. We'll see if Chanel will lead off and do that right away. Let's see. Looking at his stats, again, the ERA pretty high at 6.33. All year long, I should say. Let's see. 27 innings pitched. So he's an opener. But we'll see how long he goes tonight. See what type of success he has. Hopefully the Angels don't make him look like a Cy Young Award winner. He's given up 19 earned runs, 36 hits, 4 home runs, 6 walks, 13 strikeouts. His a whip at 1.56. So when you think about it, it's almost similar numbers with Tyler Anderson. And they're both 33 years of age. Both have been around for a while. Just funny how that goes sometimes. His last appearance, let's see, was against the Giants. He went 1 inning up there in the Bay on, Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday the 15th. He gave 4 hits, 2 runs given up, no runs, no strikeouts, no walks, no home runs given up. So looking at this, the highest innings he pitched was 3 this year, and it came on starts before. Yeah, or not starts, but appearances. 3 innings, 1/3 on the 12th, and then on the 6th, 3 innings for Ramirez. So he's one of those spot starters or openers. The Rays, I think, were the first one to do that. I can remember in 2018, Sergio Romo got the opener start against Shohei Ohtani at I think it was June or May of 2018. I was able to go there with friends, and it was just weird because I'd never seen an opener before, and Sergio Romo's not a starter, but he was that day. All right, let's get to the starting lineups. All right, so leading off for the Rays, it'll be Yandy Diaz, the first baseman, and he's very flexible there, despite what you see of him. Very flexible. Batting second will be Randy Arozarena out in left field. You know the stare, you know the glare. He's got it going. Batting third is Harold Ramirez, the designated hitter. Batting fourth will be Isaac Paredes, the second baseman, Izok. Batting fifth, is Luke Raley, the center fielder. Then batting sixth will be the third baseman, Curtis Mead. Not Lake Mead, but Curtis Mead. Batting seventh, and some interesting news about this guy. The shortstop is what's his name? Let's get his name correct before I move on. Osleves Basave. He got his first hit on the first pitch he saw in the series before the Giants ones against the Guardians in Tampa or in St. Pete. So Aceves Besby will be the shortstop for the Rays. So let's see. Osabe. It's going to be a handful of a name. But yeah, he'll be at shortstop. Josh Shillow will be the right fielder. And then Pinto, the Oslevis Basabe. And then Rene Pinto will be the catcher for the Rays, batting ninth, rounding out the lineup. Now for the Angels. Nolan Chanel, leading off right into the thick of things. We'll see how he does. It's going to be interesting. Like I said, I was watching some of his minor league hits, and they're all basic slap hitters. He looks like a professional hitter right away. We'll see against major league pitching. But he looks really good, though. He looks really good from the minors. Most of the work I saw was from Single A Inland Empire. Batting second will be Shohei Ohtani, the designated hitter. Batting third will be Brandon Drury, the second baseman. Batting fourth will be Mike Moustakas, the third baseman. Batting fifth and back in the lineup is Logan Ohapi, the catcher. We'll see if he came back too soon or if he's going to ball out. Hopefully there's no pain on that non-throwing elbow or arm. We'll see how he does. But it's great to have him back. And then Sean Well making his major league debut tonight. It's really when you think about it, it could be a real special night. And hopefully it doesn't get ruined by incompetence. Batting sixth will be Mickey Moniak, the center fielder. He's really been struggling ever since he had something going. Maybe pitchers have figured him out, and then the right adjustments haven't been made. Maybe that's been the case. Batting seventh will be Hunter Renfroe, the right fielder. Batting eighth will be Luis Rengifo, and then batting ninth will be Randall Grichuk in left field. So again, Shanwell, making his major league debut, and then Logan Ohapi is back with the Angels tonight, batting fifth, behind the plate, catching Shanwell at first. And I think it's Rally Monkey plush doll night. So hopefully you get one of those before you get into the game today. Let's quickly get to some scores around the league. We'll get to the YouTube comments, and then we'll get out of here. It was definitely a long show with all of the news going on of today. Just a lot. There's been a doubleheader today already. One-game final. The Tigers at Cleveland. Detroit won 4-2. The Royals defeat the Cubs, and the Cubs need every game to stay in the wild card race. The Royals won 4-3 at Wrigley. Let's see. Going on right now. No score in the top of the eighth on Apple TV. It's the Blue Jays and Reds. That's a fun matchup there. Bottom of the sixth, the Nationals lead the Phillies 7-6 in Washington. Also on Apple TV, the Yankees and Red Sox. Top of the sixth, the Red Sox lead 7-1. So that's good news. Bottom of the sixth, the Braves lead the Giants 3-0. In the top of the third, the Brewers lead the Rangers in Texas 2-0. Also, bottom of the third, a big series, Mariners and Astros. The Mariners lead 1-0 in Houston. No score, Pirates at Minnesota, top of the third. 1-0, the Mets lead the Cardinals in St. Louis, bottom of the second. That's a 4-game series, and I couldn't believe that was one of the Fox games yesterday, and on a Thursday, too. Just shocked the hell out of me. I don't know why they had Fox Thursday Night Baseball. And it was, the Mets and Cardinals, two of the most disappointing teams. But I know when they had this game scheduled, it was not supposed to be that way, with both teams struggling this year. Speaking of struggling teams, this series here, bottom of the first in Colorado, the White Sox lead the Rockies 1-0. And then the second game of that doubleheader between Detroit and Cleveland in Ohio, 1-0. The Tigers lead the Guardians in the bottom of the fifth. Later on in Oakland, wonder how long we get to say that. And the disparity versus these two teams is crazy, the records. The Orioles at Oakland, the A's at 34 and 87, and the Orioles at 74 and 47. Not too long ago, the records would be switched, especially I think 2019. Though Oakland didn't have that big of a great record, but the records were still switched, and now they're definitely like that. Kyle Gibson will get the start for Baltimore. Perez will get the start for Oakland. And then later at 6:40, the same time I should say, the Diamondbacks will be in San Diego to face the Padres. I believe, again, the Padres took the first game of that 4-game series yesterday. They're also affected by the hurricane or the tropical storm coming in, Hillary Banks, coming in, where they have to play doubleheader tomorrow to get the series done. Diamondbacks still trying to keep that race going. We'll see what happens. Fadat will get the start. He's 0-6 for Arizona. And then Seth Lugo will get the start for San Diego. Then later on at Dodger Stadium, the Marlins are in town to face the Dodgers. Again, they're another one that will have the doubleheader. Sandy Alcantara will have the start for Miami, and then Tony Gonsolin will have the start for Los Angeles at 7:10 tonight. So that's it for the show, but we'll get to the comments. I guess the show part is what the hell I was talking about. All right, let's get to some of these great comments, and be sure to check in, of course, to the Todd Fox post-game show after the game. Hopefully Artie Moreno will call in. Maybe he'll have a weather report or some sort. That's always been fun. Whomever is calling in as Artie Moreno, you have been just a beacon of light. Let me just say that. It's been absolute fun. Dan Rio saying, Hola, Jaime. We should get Todd to figure out how to say Jaime or people's names. Dan also says, Go Rams. It's preseason. Whatever. It's all about development. We'll see how our teams do tomorrow. Chris M., shout out to you, says, Marcus Thames will ruin Shanwell right away. And I hope that's not the case. I mean, looking at his videos, it seemed like Chanel was just hitting opposite way down the lines for doubles. Just something the Angels really, really need right now. By the way, the updated percentage chances to make the playoffs. The Angels have an 1/8 of a percentage chance to get in the playoffs now, just for fun. Just saying that for fun. I mean, it's not fun, but it's just, you get it. So yeah, 1/8 of a 10th. 8% of a chance. Let's see. Try to hear mentioning we haven't had a hurricane off the Pacific coast since 1955. Isn't it funny how the Dodgers are playing the Rays, how the Angels are playing the Rays, the Dodgers are playing the Marlins, two Florida teams that have hurricanes all the time. Yeah, like I mentioned, and we're on the same boat there, Trout here. It's just weird how these things go, uh, but rarely here. But I guess as the years go on, things will happen, and things that you'll never see will happen. So that's great you brought that up. Dan Rio says yes to keeping Lucas Giolito. Angels Stadium is a pitcher's park. Now it'd be more of a pitcher's park if right field was elevated again to the top, the yellow line. That would be better. Trotta here also saying screw Rendon. It's not looking good. And 3 more years left of this contract. We'll see if the Angels eat that. I doubt that. If Hardy will. Chris M saying never thought of that. Trotta here. Odd. Yeah. And Eric Wallace saying my name. Yeah, make sure you tune in, everyone, especially Eric. We'll see how the Mariners do against the Astros, as that's a big series. I know your Mariners are where we want to be, but obviously that's not the case, Eric. That's been taken away from us. You're 6 back of the first place, 4.5 back of Houston in that wild card as well. Half game back of the third place spot for the wild card of Toronto. So you're right there. By the way, Boston 3.5, New York 6.5, the Angels 7 games out, Cleveland 9 out. That's all that really needs to know. Okay, I think we'll end it here. Again, the Angels and the Rays, first game of the 3-game series in 2 days. The doubleheader tomorrow, of course, because of the hurricane coming on in. That will turn into a tropical storm. So tomorrow, the doubleheader, 107 and 607. Make your plans accordingly. Again, though, if you have tickets for Sunday, it will be honored for Saturday afternoon. So keep that in mind if you have tickets for those games, for that game on Sunday. Check out the Todd Fox postgame show and all the social media platforms that Halos in the Infield are on. Check out the postgame later. Everyone take care. Go Halos. Be safe out there. Bye.